Hi everyone, Jean Bromage of Reiki Essence Healing Lights. And today I'd like to share some reflections around this full moon in Scorpio. This is the pink full moon on May 1st. And there are a lot of themes going around with this full moon. And then I'd like to take you through a short guided meditation. So, one of the big themes around this full moon is how you're tending to your self care when it comes to your emotional body. Scorpio is all about digging deep under the watery surface of life to recognize what you've been carrying around in your unconscious that is ready to come out into the light, to come to the surface, and to be honored and recognized and then processed as it's needed. The other big theme around this full moon is that it does happen to happen on May 1st, which is exactly 6 months from November 1st. And November 1st is honored around the world as the Day of the Dead, All Saints Day. This is where we honor our ancestors and our guides on the other side of the veil of life. And so here we are 6 months later. And so what wisdom from our ancestral lineage is ready to come forth to help support us in our next cycles of growth. But for today, for the guided meditation, I'd really like to focus on guiding you on tending to your emotional body. The emotional body is processed through through your physical body just as much as through the energetic field, and it oftentimes starts in the heart. What is stuck is oftentimes carried around in the heart, and this is why we have so much heart disease. Why we carry so much tension in our shoulders, because what we're not ready to experience, the heavier emotions that we're not ready to experience, like our grief, our grievance, our deep anger. And I'm not talking about the surface emotions that kind of flare up on the day to day. I'm talking about the deeper emotions that we've been carrying around for years that are holding us back from healing and from growth. And so when the energy is stuck in the heart, then it builds that pressure. And so what we want to do is to start at the heart and really reflect on and honor what is ready to be processed. And so this weekend will be a really wonderful time to give yourself some space. So, we go through the day to day compartmentalizing. We have to get to work, we have to tend to our families, we have to, we have our obligations that we have to meet. And so oftentimes the priority of self-care, in the sense of really taking time and giving ourselves some space to really recognize and bring some clarity around what is it that I'm really feeling about different situations in my life. How am I feeling about my family dynamics? How am I feeling about my work dynamics? How am I feeling about my health, my body? How am I feeling about my finances? How am I feeling about my fulfillment in life and my satisfaction? So there are so many dimensions of life. And so picking one that you want to focus on and really digging deeper into, how do you feel about this? There's a lot also going on in the collective. So getting very real about how you're feeling about certain dynamics going on, both in the collective as well as within your own personal life experience. So we start in the heart, but then the digestive tract is the stomach, the third chakra. So we work our way down through the energy centers. And so the heart is where we open up the space to feel what we're feeling, to feel the feels. And then the digestive tract, starting with the stomach, the third chakra, this is where we then begin to process our emotions. And in the third chakra, the themes are around empowerment. So as soon as we honor our emotions and then we begin to process them, the third chakra is about taking ownership of our emotions, parenting our emotions, really taking responsibility. And so then we begin to digest them, and then we move down into the sacral chakra. So now we're into the small intestines, and what happens in the small intestinal tract is this is where we refine what we're digesting. This is where we sift out the nourishment, and this is where we then begin to release what we don't need. So the circumstances around your emotions, what wisdom are your emotions teaching you? What is coming forth that's going to be of use for you to move forward? And then the root chakra, the first chakra, is the large intestine. So this is where we release what no longer serves us, what we're ready to really let go of. So this full moon is carrying some really beautiful supportive energies to support this process. So I'd like to invite you to go ahead and gently drop your eyelids and take a nice deep inhale through the nose and a nice cleansing exhale. Just beginning to allow your body to release and relax wherever it is that you're sitting. Another deep inhale. And on the exhale, just allowing your body to relax even deeper. Allowing your mind and your thoughts to begin to slow down. Another deep inhale. And on the exhale, just imagine yourself standing in a meadow. And as you stand in the middle of the meadow, across from you is this giant tree with these really big roots. And behind the tree, the sun is setting. And behind you, the full moon, the pink full moon, the pink flower moon is rising. And you're feeling completely grounded and at peace. And as you see the last rays of the sun reflect through the branches of this tree, you make your way over to the tree. And you see that the roots in one spot create the perfect spot for you to sit down and lean against the trunk of the tree. And as you settle in, you feel the support of the tree along your back. And you feel your sits bones and your tailbone connect in with the roots of the tree. And you're feeling completely supported and grounded. And you see the shining moonlight is bathing you as you relax into the support of the tree. And now I invite you to really bring your breath into your heart chakra, your heart center, really feeling the air fill your chest. And also feeling it in the back between your shoulder blades. Feeling this energy center opening both in the front and the back. And as this energy center opens, you feel the beautiful, compassionate energy of this pink flower moon enter your heart chakra to help give it some space, to breathe and allow this spaciousness to come into you, to your heart chakra. And now ask yourself, what emotions are ready to come to the surface at this time? What am I really needing to get honest about how I'm feeling? Maybe I need to get honest about my anger or grief. Over a certain situation that you've been carrying around for a while. So just let that energy open and flow within your heart chakra to give it the space that it needs. And just honor it for what it is. It's an energy. And yes, there is a story tethered to that energy. But when we allow ourselves to feel that energy in the heart, then the story doesn't have to have such a strong grip. And we can just allow the energy to flow and move and tend to the energy without the story. And now I invite you to place your hands on your stomach, your third chakra, just really letting the breath open your diaphragm and create some spaciousness in your third chakra. And this is the element of fire, the center of empowerment, how you express your power in the world. And this is also where you take ownership of your life. So how might you take ownership of this feeling, this emotion that you're processing at this time? Breathing into the stomach and allowing yourself to begin to take ownership and begin to process this emotion. And again, just allowing that beautiful, compassionate energy of this pink flower moon to be flowing along with this process, entering the heart and now moving down into the stomach and allowing this moonlight to charge and open as you take ownership of what you're feeling. And now breathing into your belly button, into your lower abdomen area. And now ask this emotion, this feeling, what messages of wisdom do you have for me at this time? What are you teaching me? What are you revealing to me? This is the element of water. This is the movement of our emotions. How are they flowing? And what can they teach me? And what nourishment am I getting from this experience? Nourishment in the form of wisdom. Breathing and expanding your lower belly and your lower back. And allowing this energy to continue to flow down. And receiving what is ready to come forth in the form of light and wisdom. And now breathing down into the bottom of your pelvis and all the way down through your legs and your feet. Really drawing this light down and through and allowing this light to then release what is no longer serving you, what is ready to be sent down into Mama Earth, to be processed and released and transformed, letting it flow down through your legs and out through the soles of your feet. And now with these lower chakras open and flowing and processing, I invite you to bring your attention back into your heart. And now connecting with your throat chakra. This is the fifth chakra, the beginning of the upper chakras. And ask yourself, what emotions need to be expressed? I've gained this wisdom, I've processed these emotions, and now what needs to be said? What needs to be expressed? It could be creative expression, or maybe it's something that needs to be said to somebody else. Or what needs to be heard? So allowing your throat chakra to open and flow both in the front and in the back, in your neck. We hold so much tension in our neck. So just allowing this energy to now move up and find its expression and find this release of tension. And also in the jaw, what do you hold back from saying? How do you bite your tongue? How do you hold tension in the jaw because you don't say what needs to be said? And now moving up into the third eye. This is the center of intuition. This is higher knowing, higher wisdom. So how can all of this lower chakra processing now become higher wisdom for you? How is this helping you to see the bigger picture in life? And to see things from a more detached place, a place of neutrality. Yes, you have your feelings around things. And that's great because that holds its wisdom. But now, how can that wisdom elevate to a bigger perspective on yourself and on others, so that we don't become victims of our emotions? Instead, they teach us so that we can strengthen our intuitive knowing and our ability to see the bigger picture at play. And to see life through a symbolic lens and not just through the linear mind. And now moving up into your crown chakra. This is your connection to your higher self. And how does your higher self hold space for all of this? How can you connect with spirit, with your ancestors, and with your spirit guides to support you in this process and to strengthening your connection to your higher self, your higher knowing, your higher wisdom that's going to support you in the practicalities of your day-to-day, as well as support you in navigating your emotional body and everything that's come to the surface. Now feeling the spaciousness in your whole being, I invite you to allow yourself to come once again back into your heart. And then place your other hand on your lower belly. Just breathe between these two places. And just honoring yourself, honoring your emotions, honoring the wisdom that's come forth from this process. And breathing, and now, really coming back into your physical body. And just gazing up one last time at this beautiful pink flower moon and thanking the moon for its support in this healing process. Once again, feeling the support of the tree, coming back into your body and beginning to come back into your actual space that you're in, and gently open your eyes. And so I hope you found this guided meditation helpful. And as you're coming back, you might wish to really rub your legs, rub your belly, brush your shoulders, brush the top of your head. We really opened up the energy field in this guided meditation. So just taking some moments to get grounded. And I really do encourage you this weekend to go for a walk, do some journaling, do some meditating, and really dive into this process of what your emotions are telling you at this time, what wisdom is ready to come forth from the deeper layers of your emotional body, and not just what we feel in the day-to-day on the surface. And if you could use some extra support in this process, this spring I am offering a spring meltdown sale, 40% off my one-on-one sessions. And it's a really great way to get the support that you need energetically. I provide coaching and spiritual counseling along with the energetics. I offer both virtual sessions as well as in-person sessions. So there's a link to my calendar. And there's a promo code that you can plug in to get 40% off the full price of my single sessions. I also offer programs one-on-one where you can get a series of sessions at a discount. Also, in a couple of weeks, we have our next energy reset circle, and that's when we're going to do a deeper dive into our connection with our ancestors. How can we connect with our ancestors to get the wisdom and support that we need? So, like I said, May 1st is 6 months from when we had the Day of the Dead, the All Saints Day. This is that moment where we cross the veil and are able to connect with the spirit realm. And so here we are on the light side of the calendar where the sun is at its strongest. And so this is where we also get to connect through the veil between the three-dimensional realm and the spirit realm through the elements of nature and the fairies, the spirits of the nature realm, as well as continuing to commune with our ancestors, which we can do at any time. But this is another point on the calendar where we can begin to cross through that veil is thinning so that we can have more of a deeper, meaningful communication with the spirit realm. So I hope you can join us here. It's here in New York City at Balance Arts Center on West 30th Street. So I have the link to that as well in the comments. So I wish you a beautiful pink full moon, flower moon, pink flower moon, and have a wondrous day. Take care. Bye-bye.